Good morning and welcome to the locker room on Smooth 98.1 FM. It's time to get into everything sports related as we make welcome. Tega, good morning to you on a
Good
Wednesday.
morning. So good morning this Wednesday. And yeah. Drum roll, drum roll, drum roll. Today is day one of the Ladies in Sports Conference. Yes, day one. And so day one is focused on a sound mind leading to a sound body. And so it's our fitness session today. So get your gym fit ready. We're going to meet at the venue of the Ladies in Sports Conference, which is the Marriott Hotel in Ikeja. So come in there. Don't bring anything, just yourself in your gym outfit. There's everything else you need at the venue. So we'll be mixing up with it's going to be a fitness and a networking session. So we'll be meeting up, getting our bodies right and then getting the right network. All right. So if you want to meet the business end of sports, we watch it as fans. But if you want to start investing and getting returns, the Ladies in Sports Conference is where to be. So today is day one. Get ready, get ready, get ready. All right. That's the
I know
first good news.
before you leave us, I know in this your conference, eventually it's your time, and I understand that people would sweat it out. And are they supposed to take the sweat back home, or there's provision for shower back in that location to wash it all off?
You will take your sweat back home. It's anointing. It's anointing.
All right, noted.
or, or if better still, you can go up to one of the rooms. Just swipe your card at the
All
reception. And go up to one of the rooms and have a quick shower. That would be nice. I have a good experience. In fact, just take the entire weekend at the Marriott. Not on us, but swipe your card.
Yeah.
That's part of expanding the business. On that note, let's also move on to what is happening in the world of sports. So, I always give people hot gist.
Hot, hot.
Let me give Let me give you this hot one. So
Yeah.
that's how Morocco sat in their house one day. You know how
Yes.
people say they use their own money to buy trouble. Sat down in
Yeah.
their house and they decided after twiddling their thumbs that maybe they should play friendly. So they decided to organize a friendly match with Congo, for their women's national team. Their own, I don't know who sent them. Oh, no, but it's a friendly. There are no points here. There's no trophy at the end. They just said, let's just go and organize friendly with Congo. That's how they started playing the match. A
Yeah.
certain lady, and we have to mention her name so that people will know her worldwide. Ruth Kipoyi of Congo. Now, I don't know what to say. It was a very unnecessary rough tackle. So the Moroccan midfielder was running with the ball, and Ruth Kipoyi decided that she was going to stop her, but she didn't just stop her, you know, tactical foul. She cleared her in Nigerian language.
Hmm.
She took both her legs with a kick. She was clearly not going for the ball, so she cut her down. And of course, the referee comes and gives her a straight red, shows her a straight red. But when she first cut her down like that, it was aggressive, it was unnecessary, it was brutal, it was out of nowhere. So of course her teammates run to start. You know how they do it, you run and shove the person. So the first person shoved Ruth, and and whilst the first person was shoving Ruth shoved the person back. And so the Moroccan captain came in to separate that small thief that, look, the referee is already handling it. Then Ruth now shoves the Moroccan captain. So another player now shoves Ruth, and
Oh,
Ruth comes up with this amazing, this is a horrible situation, but amazing left hook. This is the left hook Deontay Wilder was looking for over the weekend. Ruth came up with a left hook. She hit the girl. She hit the Moroccan girl. Her name, I think, Mabret. She hit her. I fell watching her hit the girl. That's how lethal the left hook was. So, so right now, there are a couple of people calling for a life ban. Some people are saying
yeah.
they should give her a lengthy suspension.
It's
Some
not
people are saying
football any longer. That's
some people are saying
UFC.
give her a life ban. So that's where we are at now. Friendly match. Oh, there's nothing at the
That's
end of this thing. There's nothing at the end of this thing. Friendly match, and you give somebody a left hook. So sad one, but yeah, that's what's happening in the world of sports. All right, so we move from women's football slash UFC slash MMA slash Deontay Wilder's wishes, up to all the other things that could be happening in the locker room today. But before we do all that, can you tell us how we can be a part of the locker room this morning?
To be part of the conversation inside the locker room this morning, be sure to send us a WhatsApp message to 0809 444 0981. Once again, 0809 444 0981 WhatsApp messages. And then you can catch a glimpse of the YouTube channel, youtube.com/smooth 981 FM. We're streaming live. And that's where we have it, Tega.
All right, so let's run through the headlines and then we'll take the story one after the other.
On the bill this morning, World Cup qualifiers, stranded Super Eagles players arrive in Uyo as Alcaraz beat Tsitsipas to set up Sina semi-final, as golf recovers to set up Swiatek semi-final. Then Manchester City launch legal action against Premier League commercial rules, as Mbappe arrival ignites Madrid fans and the press. Garcia late show helps Spain qualify for Euro 2025. As Italy held to a goalless draw in Euros warm-up with Turkey, as De Bruyne opened to everything amid Saudi links. Tega?
Yeah, so that's where we are. Let's run through the Super Eagles because that was a heart and mouth moment. So let's start with that.
The Director of Communications, Nigerian Football Federation, Ademola Olajire, Tuesday confirmed that the stranded Super Eagles players in Lagos and Abuja had arrived to Uyo, the capital of Akwa Ibom, ahead of not friendly now.
No, this one is not a friendly. No left hook here. All right, this is the World Cup qualifier. We are going to America in 2026. Yes, so for such we all know about the national strike that happened earlier in the week. And so at the time the national strike occurred, the Nigerian players had arrived Nigeria, but they had not yet gotten down to Uyo. And so they were stranded in the different places. They were, in their different entry points. Those that came in through Abuja, those that came in through Lagos, were stranded in their entry points. And only 15 players in camp were already beginning to, think of the worst case scenario. Because remember, we play South Africa on the 7th of June, which is this Friday. And the same day as the LIS conference. So after the conference, you can go upstairs and join us in live viewing. But yeah, so we played South Africa in Uyo on Friday evening, and there was a strike, so it meant nobody could fly anywhere. The worst case scenario was not just the fact that they had 15 players. At least with 15 players, you can find a way to get 11 on the pitch, right?
Yes.
But if even South Africans wouldn't have been able to come to Uyo, and that wouldn't have been their fault, it would have been our fault, which means that it would be a walkover and South Africa would have been given 3 points and 3 goals. Remember, we already drew our first 2 matches in this World Cup qualifier, the alleged easy matches. So there were all sorts of permutations and calculations and already backdoor negotiations and phone calls going on. But fortunately, the strike was called off and those players have arrived camp. So camp is bustling. They had a closed door training session yesterday. The boys are hopeful. They're in great spirits. The Finidi George looks like he's excited about the prospects to come. So let's see how we can prepare well to square up against South Africa. So if you have the opportunity, go down to Uyo. Uyo is a beautiful city. Leave the traffic in Lagos. Go down to Uyo. There's greenery and there's good food. Good food. The food is fresh from the farm to the table. All right, go to Uyo. The tickets are not expensive. I think there's 1,000 naira. The tickets were as low as 1,000 naira. So you can even buy for 10 people, not just for yourself. Just vex and buy for 10 people so that the stadium will be full and the stadium will be loud and let them know that Nigerians are there to support the Super Eagles of Nigeria. All right. That's it for you.
From Uyo, we cross over now to Paris, where Carlos Alcaraz made light work of Stefanos Tsitsipas to set up a tantalizing French Open semi-final against incoming world number one Yannick Sinner.
The battle we are all waiting for. Yannick Sinner against Carlos Alcaraz. Now, most people would have wanted this battle to happen in the final. Unfortunately, it's happening in the semi-final. World number 2 meeting world number 3. But we'll take it as it is, as it comes. Both players have been, both players came into this tournament with the same problems. Yannick Sinner picked up an injury. Carlos Alcaraz struggling with Yannick Sinner's injury on the leg. Carlos Alcaraz injury struggles on the forearm. Forearm, you can see when he wears that sleeve, trying to protect his forehand, and that's his serving arm. That's his forehand. It is basically the hand he uses to play tennis. So there were questions about the fitness of both of them, but so far, both of them have come through the ranks and they've made it all the way now to the semifinals, which is not what we can say for Novak Djokovic, who had to withdraw after beating Cerundolo because he has a tear in his meniscus. So we don't know how long he could be out for, because it's Novak Djokovic and he takes all this healthy, natural stuff. He could be back quicker than other people. But we also have to remember that he's still 37. And a 37-year-old body will heal when a 37-year-old body heals. So there is the age factor, but there's also his lifestyle factor, which could aid in a quick recovery. So he's out of the Roland Garros, which leaves us with the two prime suspects, Carlos Alcaraz and Yannick Sinner, and they face each other again on Friday. This Friday is becoming an auspicious day, like they say in the world. So they face each other on Friday in the semi-final. I would say this: Yannick Sinner looks in a better position than Carlos Alcaraz. Like I said, Carlos Alcaraz is not my favorite to win the French Open, for the simple reason that forehand is struggling so much, that his hand is struggling so much that it's affecting his shots. And so there were shots that that Carlos Alcaraz will make easily on any day of the week, but he's struggling with those shots in this particular tournament with range and with depth because of the injury. Yannick Sinner looks like he's fit. He's completely back to the road of recovery, because when you watch his court coverage, when you watch his movement, he looks like that injury is not there. So if you ask me my favorite to win, and again, judging by the results of 2024, Yannick Sinner overall, even if Carlos Alcaraz has already beaten him this season and won a trophy, Yannick Sinner overall has had the best 2024 numbers so far. So on that basis, if we're coming on form, from the angle of form, I would say advantage Yannick Sinner. But if we are also looking at surface, then you say Carlos Alcaraz, because he enjoys the clay a little more than Yannick Sinner does. So let's see how it works for both of them.
One thing is certain: entertainment very plenty.
Entertainment guaranteed.
Yeah. But then linking this one up, still Laurent Garros, that's American third seed Coco Gauff reached the French Open semi-final after recovering to beat Tunisian's Ons Jabeur in a very absorbing contest.
Yes, Coco Gauff did all that work. I lost first set to Ons Jabeur. Ons Jabeur looked very composed, very confident, very compact in her game. Like, her game plan and game strategy worked out perfectly in the first set. But the second set, Coco Gauff was like, I'm not going home. First of all, Coco Gauff plays a powerful game. She's not as small as she used to be, because when she came on tour, she was 16, so she was still growing. She's taller now. She's bigger now, and that has also impacted her serves and her ground strokes. So she is if you're talking of one of the power hitters in the game, you have to mention Coco Gauff. If you're also talking about defense, because she's very athletic, so her court coverage is amazing, and the way she quickly rebounds, and her positioning on court, she's one of the most athletic on the court. So defensively, she's solid. When you're talking about her ground strokes, they're powerful. So she's a perfect recipe of a player you think would always go deep into tournaments and even win one or two majors here and there. And she has also delivered because she's won the US Open. So she brought all of that to play in the second set. She outran Onojiafe. She out-hit Onojiafe. She out-thought Onojiafe. And eventually from the second set all the way to the third set, it was kind of a breeze for Coco Gauff. So congratulations to her. Unfortunately, she meets Iga Swiatek in the next round. Now, Iga Swiatek, as in customer dada, because Iga Swiatek is first of all, Iga Swiatek on her own is the best WTA player currently on clay. If you look at her numbers, best on clay. She's on a winning streak of, I think, 14 or 15 matches now. And on the head-to-head, I think it's 10-1. She has beaten Coco Gauff 10 times. Coco Gauff has only managed to beat her once, and that was when she was on that her fantastic run in the US swing towards the end of last year. So it doesn't look good for Coco Gauff, but because Coco Gauff looks so great on clay, I will not rule her out. Maybe this is her opportunity.
All right, it's still the locker room on Smooth 98.1 FM. More stories up ahead. Manchester City launching legal action and more on the other side.
Number one radio station. Hey, this is Frank McCall. You're listening to Nigeria's #1 station for soul, jazz, and funk. Smooth 98.1. Love music, love life. They always give me joy. Anytime they cook like this, they always sit down.
Hello, Tega. Is there anything you want to add? Well, let's see. I see just one message for us here.
Okay, you know what? We'll just come back with that. We'll come back with the message, and then we'll go to the next story.
I want more. My food with correct vegetables. Come sit down with no cube. But that will get delicious taste. Today, chop better. You have hard water shield cement not compound. Welcome, sir. Sir, we are set to begin the foundation. Everything set? Everything, sir. We have the estimates for the granite, the sand, the iron rods, the concrete blocks, the cement. Wait, engineer. What cement are you planning to use? Oh, the normal cement, sir. The normal cement? Yes, sir. You know the area is waterlogged and you say normal cement? Have you not heard of Water Shield? The new waterproof cement by Lafarge, designed to protect buildings from water damage and water damage to your property. If you're building in a waterlogged area, then your best bet is the new Water Shield cement by Lafarge. Water Shield is the waterproof, high-strength cement expertly formulated for all interior and external use in waterlogged areas. And water damage to your property. This is Smooth Breakfast. The Smooth Breakfast. The Smooth Breakfast Show.
It is still the locker room on Smooth 98.1 FM. Let's pick up the pace now, Tega. We've got a message here waiting on YouTube. Let's see. Big Mayor says, Tega, your gender is delivering left hook inside friendly. There is Godo. By the way, I think Coco Gauff will burn herself up. It says, playing singles quarterfinals and 1 hour later playing doubles. What say you, Tega?
She's young. She can afford it. Like I said, she's one of the most athletic. Her fitness level is a little high. So if she couldn't manage it, she'd do like Tsitsipas. Because, Tsitsipas was signed up to play in the singles. He's playing doubles with his brother. Then he was playing doubles with his girlfriend. But because of the schedule and the number of matches, he had to withdraw from the doubles with his girlfriend, keep the doubles with his brother, and then had to play Alcaraz yesterday. So if the schedule wasn't working for her, trust me, she'd sacrifice the doubles quickly.
I just imagine you have a Coco Gauff at your allies. This workout session you are talking about for sweat. You guys, you would be gasping for breath.
No, she won't be the trainer. She won't be the trainer.
Okay.
We cannot make her trainer. We are not ready.
Manchester City have launched legal action against our Premier League, alleging discrimination in a move that could have far-reaching consequences for the English top flight. That's according to reports coming out on Tuesday.
All right. So I think it's associated party commercial rules that they are suing them for. Basically, what it is that the Premier League if a deal comes to a club, the Premier League looks at the deal individually and decides that, whether this deal should fly or this deal should not fly, or whether the club can partner with this deal. Because sometimes some sponsors come in and say we want to bring like 10 trillion million naira up, so not naira, dollars or euros, whichever one is the
Reals.
currency they want to use. And when they bring that kind of money and they're bringing it to the club is the Premier League is also looking at the not just the evaluation of that sponsorship, but the value that it will give to that club that may not allow for fair play. So it's also part of those financial fair play rules that Europe has. And Manchester City feels like they were targeted because they are getting money from the Gulf regions, and that money from Gulf region has no limit. There's no salary cap.
The money long.
The
That's what
money
they say.
long and wide. And so the Premier League now, the Premier League doesn't just take these decisions. They have to get clubs that vote towards these decisions. So Manchester feels like they were targeted. 14 clubs voted in favor of this rule. So, but Manchester City feels like they were targeted by those 14 clubs because those 14 clubs are bitter that maybe they're getting the competitive edge financially.
Yeah.
That's number one, and they are also claiming that if they don't get all this money, that they may have to charge their fans more. They are claiming that they may have to charge their fans more, and they may not be able to do much in women's football development. So you can see how the lawyers are just putting all the things that the Premier League wants to do in this thing. But bottom line, I would say these rules are there for the fairness of the game, and Manchester City suing this one is not just for this purpose alone, not just to get more money, but also to aid in that there are 115 charges. Because if they win this case, then some of those charges can be dropped based on the fact that they didn't have to declare all that money that they collected, because if they can get as much money as they want, what are you talking about 115 charges? So this legal claim is to kill two birds with one stone, to get as much money flowing into that club without a lid put on it, and then to help them defend themselves when it comes to the 115 charges that they are going to look at this year. So it's a good legal tactics, but it's just noise, really.
While we await the outcome of the trials of Manchester City to unfold, we'll go over to Madrid, where Kylian Mbappe, long-awaited arrival at Real Madrid, sparked joyous reactions in the Spanish press and among club's fans on Tuesday, though the French superstar will know he must live up to his billing on the pitch.
Oh, yes, and that one he can deliver on. But I like all the juicy details that's beginning to come out. So Kylian Mbappe was saying that, left to the club because he decided that he was not staying again, that left to the club, that they didn't want to play him at all this season, that they wanted to put him on the bench, that it was, his coach, Luis Enrique, and the, I think, sporting director that said, let's give him an opportunity to play, but the club wanted to bench him. I'd say this, the club has every right to be bitter. They gave you the keys to the city, and you now want to leave. What's the name of that movie by Tyler Perry? Haven't you watched it? The movie that always causes the drama every time somebody watches it. The movie with the woman that her husband, she left her husband, and then he went on and became wealthy and married another wife. I forgot Acrimony. Yes.
Okay.
I haven't heard of Acrimony. Yes, she has every right to be acrimonious. And so at the end of the day, so all these details are coming out, and I'm sure we are going to hear more leakage. So it is these juicy details that are coming out that are even more interesting than the fact that he has moved to Real Madrid. But again, when you look at what Real Madrid are doing, they already have a solid team, and to add a Kylian Mbappe is tantamount to the 115 charges Manchester City has. Because, we are arguing about this, Manchester City has endless money and they can buy who they want and they can do what they want. And Real Madrid are just staying in their corner and buying whoever they want and doing whatever they want. When you really think about it, we're talking about the Real Madrid that built the Galacticos. Real Madrid built Galacticos. They were allowed. Now they're building another Galacticos. Because think of that team that won the Champions League just a few, was it just last week? What am I saying a few weeks ago? Just last week, a few days ago. And now they are buying Kylian Mbappe to add. Do you want to win the World Cup? What are you doing? So it's an interesting one for Real Madrid fans. I think they'll be happy. And I think Barcelona should be quaking in their boots because they're not touching that La Liga trophy anytime soon. They're not touching the La Liga trophy. They're not touching the Pichichi. That's one guaranteed. Maybe Copa del Rey, they can manage it.
Okay,
all right.
Let's go over to the next. Lucia Garcia's late effort playing World Cup winners Spain a spot in the Women's Euro 2025 as they beat Denmark 3-2 on Tuesday in Tenerife.
Yes, so the women's qualifiers are going on. I think the biggest match was also England-France because France tops the group, but England had fallen to third in that group. So they couldn't have qualified for the women's Euros automatically. But they beat France yesterday to get back into. So they're now tied in second. So they have a chance to qualify automatically if they keep getting the results. That was a big one. But yesterday, both Germany and Spain grabbed the automatic tickets to get to the next round of the Women's Euros. So as the men's Euros are heating up, the Women's Euros are heating up, which is not what we can say for Africa because the World Cup qualifying is going on and we still don't know when the 2024 WAFCON is going to happen. Patrice Motsepe. All right, let me not rant today. Next story.
Now to Italy we go, where Italy were held to a goalless draw by Turkey on Tuesday as the Azzurri gear up for their European Championship title defense later this month.
Sorry, Omas, I didn't hear you.
Okay, now we're looking at Italy, where the Italians were held to a goalless draw by Turkey on Tuesday as the Azzurri gear up for their European Championship title defense later this month.
All right. So so because of the Euros that is happening, everybody's playing a friendly, everybody's trying to get themselves together. Italy also looking to try and come into tournaments. Now the thing about Italy is that they can be very bad and then they show up at the tournament and they make it all the way to the final with their ugly football, but it gets them the result. They haven't looked themselves since they won the Euros. And so they're trying to get back into being one of the contenders and it's not looking good. The thing about the good luck or the good news for them would be that no team is in great form now. If you watch Germany not looking good either and their host, watch them against Ukraine, you'd say they still need that lethal number 9. Every German team that I know that has been successful has a traditional number 9. That is good. You think of the Bierhoffs, the Klosers. There's always somebody up front that is lethal. You look at this German team and there's nobody. And I think that's the beginning of their problem because the minute their shape changed, their productivity changed. So no great team yet. Spain also struggling to get the results. They just extended the coach's contract. So let's see if that helps to boost some confidence. Portugal won their match yesterday, though, won by 4-2 against Finland. But can they do 4-2 against Germany, France, Spain? Those are the questions. So it's the good news for Italy would be that everybody else is also struggling. You know how it is. we are all struggling in this economy, so they can't feel too bad about their situation, even if they are not too confident about their chances.
Okay, then let's see if we have a space for this passenger heading somewhere, maybe Saudi Arabia. Manchester City's Kevin De Bruyne has said he's open to everything as he discussed the possibility of a move to Saudi Arabia briefly.
Yes, and so even when, and in fact, let me quote his statement because he said the money that they will give him in 2 years in Saudi Arabia is going to be more than what he has earned all the while he has been in Europe winning trophies. So it sounds like a smart idea to move to Saudi Arabia. And I would tell him if I were his friend, Oga, if the Saudi Arabia money comes, go. For the simple reason that he's achieved everything he can achieve in club football and he's getting towards the tail end of his career and he needs a pension plan.
Okay.
Because, these guys stop playing, these guys retire in their 30s and they still have to live till their 70s.
True.
Collect all the money you can collect. All right, on that note.
Now I know there is a pension plan called Saudi Arabia. It's okay. Let's
Yes,
get
the new pension plan is Saudi Arabia.
Do you have it? Moving on to Padra Pio on YouTube, he says, well, City is unserious because the cane that flogged Everton wasn't used on them. They are threatening legal action. Not their fault, Sha. I blame the FA. That's all he has to say there. And we raise down to, the platform now, WhatsApp, we've got Tayo waiting already. If anybody should be suing EPL, it's Everton and Newcastle because they are the real victims of the points deduction. Let their fans pay more and stop this exploitation by them and Chelsea attack. Is the best form of defense approach by City is not it for me. PSG director of football Mbappe to Madrid is finally happening. Acrimony is the game because it is the name. It's time for payback by PSG, and that's a movie name someone sent in also earlier on, Alex Amechi. And I've got Ibuku from K2 saying, so after faking injuries in matches, Djokovic is now injured for real. The case of the boy that cried wolf. And that's our final message, Tega.
Notes. We say thank you for tuning in to Smooth 98.1 FM. Thank you for listening to us on the locker room. Thank you for sending in your messages to WhatsApp and YouTube. And thank you for listening to us every Monday, Wednesdays, and Friday. Till we come your way again this Friday, I want to say get your gym fit ready and meet us at the Marriott for the first day of the 2024 Ladies in Sports Conference.
What's the time?
Right?
The time again? The timing again?
The time is 4 to 6 p.m. 4 to 6 p.m. So it's after work. 4 to 6 p.m. After work, you work out.
Am I invited? Are the men invited to come in to also?
Oh, yes. The Ladies in Sports Conference is a business forum.
Okay.
And business knows no gender.
And Tega, you might be, okay, no, someone might be listening, but I'll tell you that later so that you don't run with that.